Hi everyone, it's Kai with SeriousWatches and welcome to our Watch of the Month. Just in case you've not seen our last month's video, in this segment we discuss some of the watches that have come into stock in our collection in this respective month. It's not going to be necessarily the best watch because that will usually be the most expensive one, and we didn't want to have like a lineup of our most expensive watches. So what we did is we look at which new models have arrived during the month and perhaps deserve a bit more attention or just offer something spectacular or special that we want to give some extra attention to. And this month we've got 2 models. Last month we had 3. This one I have 2 that we really feel deserve some extra attention. Coming in at number 2, and also the runner-up because we're just doing 2 this month, is the brand new Orient M-Force RA-AC0L06B, which is a limited edition Orient M-Force model. And before I do any talking, let me just show it to you. It's a black, black is a bit of a stretch. It's dark grey, bit gunmetal. It's a very sophisticated color with a very obvious yellow color scheme as well. And as I've said before, this is an M-Force model. Now, the special thing about the M-Force is that it's Orient's line. You know, with Orient, you have the Orient Stars, you have the regular Orients, you have the 3 stars, and also the M-Force models, which is a section within Orient that are a bit more aimed at serious tool usage. Now, the Orient M-Force models tend to be JIS or ISO certified diving watches with extra shock absorption. So while, for example, the Orient Kamasu is a diving watch, you can take it up to 200 meters. The M-Force just takes it to another level. And M-Force models have been around for a little while, and they always tend to incorporate just a bit more of an extra feature in terms of shock resistance, water resistance, certifications for diving. So if you're serious about your diving, then you may want to opt for the M-Force models. And another thing with the M-Force models is that the styling tends to be a bit more out there. Orient really, and that's one of the beauties of Japanese design, is that they tend to embrace both very traditional and very calm and collected designs, and then at another point they just go all crazy and get some avant-garde special dial out there or colorways, and they do that with the M-Force as well. They let their guard down a little bit and, well, add in a massive crown guard that looks very cool alongside the yellow accents that they put on there. But the reason why this one is special is because Orient, at least we've been a dealer for 10 years now, and we've never had a limited edition that was purely available in Europe. And with this model, they've opted to make it a special Europe exclusive. So this watch will only be for sale from retailers in Europe. It's going to be limited to 1,000 pieces, and you know we ordered in as many as we could because we're very happy to finally be able to offer something truly limited that we as Europeans can only offer to you. And you know, Japanese brands tend to be renowned for their JDM, Japanese domestic market models, and Orient has done some limited editions for Brazil. They've done them for the US with the Mako USA models, but this time they finally released something exclusive for Europe, which is why we definitely wanted to give this watch a shout out, because we've been a dealer for 10 years and this never happened before. And alongside that, it's just a very cool watch that you can actually use in the field. Good water resistance. The design's not for everyone, I'll gladly give you that, but it's a spectacular watch. And then our watch of the month for March 2021. It's the Jour Le Mans automatic chronograph. Now, we did cheat a little bit because it does come in 8 different colorways, and I do have to admit that the different colorways do look very different. So it's not like it's one watch with a very minor difference. They are completely different in terms of styling, because of the dark colors and the bezel color. So it's not really honestly one watch, but we did want to give this one the honors because it's such a special, great watch at a great price point, and we're very happy to have them in our collection. Let me just show you one. This is the LJLM001, which has the very, very cool vintage style panda dial. It comes with vintage style domed sapphire glass, which goes really well with this 70s, 80s sort of vibe that it gives off. This particular model comes on the Oyster bracelet, has a durable diving style clasp. And let me show you one of the other models, so you've got a good impression. I mean, this is the LJLM007. This one comes on a Jubilee bracelet, but you can see this is a completely different style of watch. I mean, you wouldn't confuse them by any means. Both have a steel bezel, either with just a normal steel look or with a IP coating. This one has a normal steel insert on there. Lovely vintage style markers. It's just a very, very cool watch with a lot of features that you would want on a watch. And that's what we look for. Is obviously all the boxes need to be ticked. The movement, it's a 7750 Valjoux chronograph movement, Swiss made. The whole watch is Swiss made. The price point, it's listed at $12.99, which is a great price for a mechanical Swiss made chronograph. And then you look at the overall finishing level. I mean, the lovely domed sapphire glass, everything's very sturdy. You know, there's very little that we can fault this watch with. It's pretty, it's well made, it comes in very cool different colorways. We can't really fault it, especially not at this price. Now, there's a few minor drawbacks that I have to admit that you may need to take into account. It is a rather thick watch. It comes in at 17 millimeters, which is it's not the thinnest watch in the world. But then again, you do need to consider that a Valjoux 7750 movement in itself is about 8 millimeters. So it's very hard to get this movement in a watch and make it under, well, say 13 millimeters. Now, technically it is possible to make it a bit thinner, but most Valjoux powered watches tend to be 14, 15 millimeters. Then Le Jour opted to put in the vintage style sapphire glass, which also adds a bit of height to the watch, but it's not real height, so to speak. It makes the watch higher, but it's the glass, so it doesn't really add to the body of the watch, which makes all the difference. And Le Jour opted to make the watch 200 meters water resistant. That's why it has screw down chrono pushers, and that again adds a little bit of thickness. I've worn these watches now a few times, and I can't say it really bothered me by any means. And then again, most mechanical chronographs tend to be a little thicker, even if you put it against like a Junghans chronoscope, which is, top of my head, 13.8 millimeters. So it is a bit thinner, but then again, that is 30 meters water resistant, and you know, it doesn't really wear that thick. Now, I don't want to knock on the watch, but I do want to be honest about what the possible drawbacks are. I don't want any comments saying that I lied or anything, and that we didn't make a well-established decision to make this our watch of the month. Another consideration could be that, you know, the bezel is not ceramic. And again, the watch is $12.99. There's non-chronograph, just automatic watches being sold at $12.99 without a ceramic bezel. So, I mean, you tend to forgive brands for doing certain things when the price is right. Clasp, you know, it's a standard. It's a solid, well-made diving clasp. Perhaps some people would have preferred a fancier one, but then again, that's personal. At $12.99, there's so much good that we just couldn't do anything else than make this our watch of the month for March 2021. I hope you've enjoyed the video. You know, we'll be doing this every month where we just go through our collection, see what new models we have in stock, and not necessarily pick technically, objectively the best watch, but one that we feel deserves to have that title of Watch of the Month. If you have any suggestions, if you disagree with me violently or non-violently, if you completely agree with me, I mean, we like to hear back from you. We reply to all the comments, and you know, subscribe to our channel. We make a lot of content for our product videos. We do these videos, and you know, we like to engage with you. So thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video.